right, so before we get into our topic of discussion for today, let us have a little word of inspiration. And as you are jumping on board, please type a comment into the chat. We would love to acknowledge you and welcome you to What's Holding You Back. So, Christine, if you will, our inspirational word for today.
We are all self made, but only the successful will admit it. That's
Mm,
Earl Nightingale,
yes.
dubbed as the father of professional speaking, motivational speaking. Once more, we are all self made, but only the successful will admit it. Interesting. We'll talk about that.
Very much so. So yeah,
Hmm.
let's talk about that a little bit. So we are all self-made, meaning that we are all responsible for the position or the situation in which we are in. But
Hmm.
only the ones that are most successful are willing and able to state that, yeah, I'm the one responsible for this. But those that are not in a better position in their life, we like to make excuses and post blame on other people or other situations as to why we are in the situation that we are in, which is somewhat true, but we have to always be accountable for ourselves and for our own actions and not look to post blame on anyone else. Because we serve a mighty God and He will see us through any and every situation. But we have to put forth the work and the efforts to get us into the position in which we so desire.
So the default connotation of that saying is self-made. So
Mhm.
we always end up with self-made millionaire. You never hear about a self-made, you know,
Yes, yes, I know.
Joe. You're not going to hear about the self-made, you know, um, but it's true. You
It is true.
are self-made. So Earl Nightingale has a very interesting perspective on
Yes.
ownership.
Hmm.
So the ownership for yourself is that he also says you are self-made, meaning that we all have diamonds inside of us. We all have seeds of greatness.
Amen.
It's for you to water it. A lot of the how you were made, what happened to you, all has to do with your environment and all that. And so we're going to get into that discussion of if you're self-made, only
Hmm.
successful people will admit it. Of course, it's something to shine the light on and say, look where, where I've come and look how far I've come. It goes on the other side of the coin as well.
That's right.
A lot of
Absolutely.
folks. Mm-hmm.
Well
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
stated. All right. So, with that being said, let us get into our topic of discussion for today. And that is, let me bring it up on the screen. And that is, are you proactive or reactive? So, what do these words actually mean? So, let's look at reactive first. So, what does it mean to be reactive? It means that we're acting in response to a situation rather than creating or controlling it. Mhm. So we become reactionary. And the other side or the flip side of the coin, when you talk about being proactive, so what does that mean? That means you are creating or controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it has already happened.
Hmm.
So when when we look at this definition here, creating or controlling a situation by
Mm-hmm.
causing something to happen. I
Mm-hmm.
like this quote that someone said. I can't recall who said it. He said, don't be the thermometer on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you want to be the thermostat. What does that mean? So the
Wow.
thermometer, it reacts to its environment. It moves up and down according to its surrounding environment, what makes the temperature change around it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the thermostat is the one that controls the action or turns up the heat or
Yeah.
changes, shifts the environment. It
Yeah.
makes it makes things happen. So the
Mm-hmm.
thermostat is controlling the action while the thermometer is just responding to it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I love that quote. I can't recall who stated it, but yeah, that was so profound. Yes, yes,
Wow.
yes. All right,
That's
so go ahead, Christine.
no, that's awesome. It's actually a situation where if you have you have a you know you have an atmosphere, you have a situation, you and where it's really heated, and you're saying, this is too much for me, and you have to. Now you're saying not just you at that point you're being the thermometer and you're being controlled by the environment instead of being the thermostat.
Ah,
Hmm. So
mhm.
how could you become the thermostat in that? Would you shift your thinking? Pivot.
That's where it starts.
Okay.
Our mindset and our way of thinking, how we approach different situations. We want to diffuse things, not put more fuel onto the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we want to turn that temperature down by controlling the thermostat. Mm.
Okay. Nice.
Greetings and blessings to my wife, missionary Althea, bless you. And we also have Sister Nicola Williams, bless you, sis. So good to see you. And we're having a
Welcome.
discussion today about, are you proactive or reactive?
Reactive. So we have another quote coming up. In the reactive, we already just saw the quotes.
Mm.
Reactive or proactive, and why is that so important to be forward thinking? Forward
Yeah.
thinking is another word for being proactive. If you are in a situation where there's seasons in your business, there's
Hmm.
seasons in your life, be
Yeah,
proactive. Don't
absolutely.
wait for the season and say, "Oh, this is a time of year when, it always happens this time of year." No, let's be proactive and get ahead and look at the vision for your life. How taking it off of the vision board and
Mm.
into reality.
Come
If
on.
you can't have the full essence, if you will, of whatever it is on your vision board, and have a portion of it.
Hmm.
Have a portion of it, more than just a picture. But go ahead, bro.
Yes, very good. So let's have some interaction here. So,
Mhm.
what side of the fence are you on? Are you proactive or are you reactive? Type it in the chat and be honest. Be honest with yourself. A lot of people are going to say, I'm proactive, I'm taking measures to control my situation. But when you really look upon things that are happening in your life, you're just responding to what's transpiring. You're not taking the initiative or putting yourself in a position where you can have some type of control of the situation or choose an alternative route if things don't go in the way in which you expected. That's a part of being proactive. So type in the chat, are you proactive or are you reactive? So when we talk about this topic that we're talking about here, let us just address a couple of things as we're speaking now. So, are you eating properly to preserve your health, or are you enjoying those unhealthy fast foods that will ultimately bring you and lead to you having some type of health issues? Are you doing some type of exercises to keep you healthy and fit? Or are you just being a couch potato and say, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the view from my couch and watch the TV? Are you making preparations to create a type of food supply for yourself? Are you planting a garden? Or are you doing something that you're going to have a necessary food source when the famine comes? Because trust and believe, it's coming. So you have to be aware of everything that is going on within the world as we see it nowadays. Excuse me. And I know A lot of church people like to say, don't get consumed on what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
God is going to, see us through it. And yes, he will. But we can't have that type of mentality or mindset, whereas we're just going to be oblivious to what's going on. We can't be ignorant to what's going on around us because it's going to affect us in some type of way. So you need to have um, the hindsight, the mindset. I'm sorry. You need to have the proper means to see and discern what's going on around you, so you can take the necessary steps and put yourself in the best possible position to win and come against anything that's going to come against you and your family. So we all must make sure we're taking the necessary courses of action. So another thing, are you showing love and appreciation to your fellow brothers and sisters?
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're going through your disagreements in that time of adversity,
Mm-hmm.
don't wait until a crisis comes and then you want to reach out to them and tell them how much you love them. No, take that opportunity now. Reach out to them now and say, hey, listen, I know we've had our disagreements in the past, but just through it all, just know that I love you, I care for you, and I'm here for you. That's it. That's all you need to do. But don't hold that grudge. Don't harbor those bad feelings. And then when something happens to them, then you have to hold that on your heart. You have to live with that because you didn't have to take the time out to share and say, hey, I'm sorry for all of our misunderstandings that we had previously, but just know that I love you. I'm here for you, and we're going to be better from it. You know,
Well said.
yeah. So, have you
Mm-hmm.
started to create another income stream for yourself? You know, here in America, people are losing their jobs left and right. And my son just sent me a text message earlier today that now the government is going to be doing away with FEMA, and that is an agency in which he was working with. So pretty soon he's going to be out of a job. There are so many people, especially government officials, that are losing their jobs left and right.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your plan? What is your strategy? What are you going to do when your income stream dries up or you are not able to pull in the income from that job in which you've had? You have to be proactive and make some types of um, some sources of income. So you have to put yourself in a position where you have another option or another plan in place.
And
All right.
another way of being proactive, Rob, with that is getting a pulse of what's the need. The old adage of supply and demand. What is really in supply out there? And that's another horizon, another planet, if you will,
Mhm.
because we know what's out there is technology. So there's a huge gap now. The new currency is information. The new currency is in the innovation. And if you can't learn or you're not up to speed on the technology that's out there and the options that folks now have, traditionally customer service jobs, were done by human and only humans. You would only pick up the phone and hear voice. So that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to, if you're looking for a plan B,
Mhm.
what is the plan B? What is a need? It's no longer so much about your hobby and turning your hobby into a business. Is there a need? Is
Right.
there a need? What we do, healthcare is huge.
Mhm.
So, providing homes of all ages when it comes to healthcare, that's an industry that a lot of folks now are doing part time, both male and female.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So greetings to ACAN Healthcare. Thank you so much for joining us. All
Yeah.
right. So Sister Nicola says she is proactive. Yes, okay.
Awesome.
Definitely believe that.
Yes.
In healthcare says they are proactive as well.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see. And yes, every day proactive with my health. Yes, most
Yeah.
definitely. Yes, for those of you that know Sister Yvette Bolden from Bold Nutrition Consulting, yes, every day she is working out, keeping her health in order, and
Um,
she prescribes different meal plans and dieting plans. Healthy
mhm.
living is a part of her lifestyle. That is who she is, and not just what she does, but that is
Right?
truly, yes, what she does.
That's so true. So true.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
So go ahead, Christine.
no, being proactive, um, in a sense of you there's this adage that you don't know what you don't know.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of speculation now in this world. So again, can't emphasize enough about the power of research and finding out the need. What is the need that's in the market? What's in the needs? There's so many proactive ways that you can build a secondary income if that's what you wish. Another proactive measurement with just by having a compass, an internal compass, is being proactive.
Absolutely.
You know, it's there's so a lot of people spend a lot of time on, oh, this is what I want, this is what I want. There's the list of what you don't want is just as important, and that's being proactive as well. So that inner compass and knowing that I'm heading north.
Mm.
So even if I don't know exactly where my pit stops are going to be and what's happening, I know that I have to go north and keep heading that way. So all decisions that you make, because the decisions that you make you. All decisions that you should have a compass and know that at least they're leading north,
Right.
right? You're not going to make a decision that's going to lead you south, and you know in your heart, you know that you're supposed to be going north. I hope that's helping someone because again, the decisions that you make makes you decision making strategies. That's huge part of
Hmm.
being proactive because you have to make the right move,
You
or else
do.
you just wasted your time.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to be in serious trouble, and
Yeah.
especially these day and times in which we're living in now. So let me ask you, how many of you are planning or have already started putting a garden together so you can have some, at least some vegetables to eat on? You know, you see how the prices are so high for groceries now, and
Hmm.
it's only going to increase as we go into the spring and the summer season. So the best thing that we all can do is put some type of garden together. Even if you're in a colder climate like we are here in the northern part of the States, and Christine is in Canada, create a little greenhouse for yourself. If you don't know how to do it, go on YouTube and you'll see different videos on how to create a little greenhouse for yourself, and just have a place where you can create plant some tomatoes or something that you can
Hmm.
be able to sustain yourself and your family when times really get hard. We haven't gotten there yet, but I do not like the way things are going. So it's all a part of being proactive and preparing ourselves so that in the event that it does come to that, we'll be all right. You know, we'll be
Yeah.
able to sustain ourselves, sustain our families, help our friends and our loved ones as well. And that's when we all have to unite and come together as one. You know, no one can be left out on an island. And another thing that I really admire about the Jamaican community, Christian and Mexicans as well, I love how the family structure stays within one household under one roof for a long
Hmm.
period of time than many other
Hmm.
ethnics and nationalities. And that is so encouraging, inspiring to me because it shows that there's a good family structure there, and then they're willing to make those sacrifices in not having that their own personal space. But when we all come together as one for one
Mm-hmm.
common goal, and we put all our resources together, it's going to be that much more impactful and beneficial for us all. It's going to be so much more efficient in saving us money until we get into that place where we can branch out on our own. But why go out and spend all this money on rent and mortgage and house payments when you can all come together as one and live under one roof and split the expenses until you're in a position to go out and venture out on your own? You know, as a Black American, our our way of thinking, our mindset is, once the kids get of a certain age, you know, they got to get out the house. Why? No. Keep the structure together. Build,
Mm-hmm.
grow together. Of course, the children are still going to have to apply to the rules and make sure they're doing what needs to be done. But why put them out of the house when they were not able to fend for themselves and they're going to struggle and you're going to be struggling? Why do that? Keep the family together, work together, everybody pitch in. You put some money into the pot, we can all grow and build.
Mm-hmm.
Maintain your chores and responsibilities. And then once you get to that place, then we branch out.
And this is the village that we all are going to come to, that village of survival. And we're very resilient when it comes to just humans on a whole. Throughout history books have so many stories, triumphant stories about being resilient.
Yes.
And in this time and season, being proactive is being resilient. And being proactive is not just, looking at tomorrow or next week.
Mhm.
Um, I can't emphasize enough to have that map. Sometimes folks are very uncomfortable within themselves. They there's more for me, there's more I should be doing. That's because, yeah, something's telling you that you should be looking at what your calendar looks like in 2026.
Mm,
In 2026, what does that look like? And I can't emphasize enough, whatever you grow, it doesn't have to perish. Freeze it.
there you go. There you
Freeze
go.
it. And so we have we have a lot to think about as we shift our paradigms into the future. We also have to look at the power of agriculture. I love what you're saying about growing our own food, making sure that you have a garden. There's
Yes.
also an analogy that Earl Nightingale, he gives an analogy about being in a pot, and
Mm,
but you're bigger than the pot, so you
okay.
become stunted, right? So as you're growing, every farmer will know that you have to have the size of the pot for the size of the tree. So
Mm,
if you are an oak tree, and you've put yourself into a pot that's only an evergreen, you're going to be stunted. And I say that to say, in regards to people who are naturally proactive, but they feel stagnated, they feel, again, like they're moving, but they're not going anywhere. They know that there's much more for them. Really tap into what God is saying to you. Really tap into that meditation and look and pay attention to the needs of others. And that's where you're going to find your gold. That's where you're going to really find your acres of diamonds, in the needs of others. When you meet those needs, the needs nowadays are very social. The wellness, I think, the wellness industry is going to just get more and more, where we don't want to, we want to speak with folks that have real human experiences. There's
right.
some things that are textbook, and you can get that from AI, or you can get that from Google, or what the case may be. But there's some experiences you need flesh and blood. Skin and bones. It
That's right.
is it's needing some skin in the game to really get some good advice. So wellness is a huge part as
Yeah.
well. So if you tap into the wellness and the well-being of others, folks will pay.
All right. Wow. Love it, Christine. Yes. Evangelist Pat, greetings. Good evening. Good to see you. We have Sister Jacqueline Jameson as well. Greetings, my sis. And to everyone else that has jumped on board, thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast this afternoon, this evening. So yes, Christine, yes, I am encouraged by seeing some of the comments that we see here in chat.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying that they have started their garden, or they're in the
Oh,
process of doing so. They got the plants, and they're getting the flower pots. So yes, I am very encouraged to hear and see that. But yeah, it's all a part of being proactive. We all have to do our part, and not just be spectators sitting on the sideline and
mhm.
waiting for something to happen, and then we want to react to it. By that time,
No.
it's too late.
Mhm,
Now
mhm.
you're just going to have to deal with that situation as it comes. Because why? Because you were not proactive. You didn't take any necessary steps to prevent this situation or alter the situation. Some things we can't prevent or we can't change, but we can have another plan in place, and how
Mhm.
we're going to shift,
How you
how
gonna
we're
shift?
going to move, you know,
Yes.
go in a different direction. So it
Mhm.
will impact us as hard as some other people,
Right.
other people that are just being reactive. But when
Mhm.
you're proactive,
Mhm.
putting plans in place. All right, so if this happens, this is what I know I'm going to do.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right. This has been a great conversation on what's holding you back. We
yeah.
thank everyone for joining us. Next week, another conversation, 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. This is where you want to be. Bring a friend, like and share this broadcast. Rob, it was excellent conversation on proactive versus reactive. We can take a deep dive into personality types that
Mm-hmm.
lean onto the reactive instead of proactive. But if you're that way at work,
Uh-huh.
chances are you're that way at home. So pay attention to your work style as well.
Yes.
Yes, that proactive mindset will get you promotions.
Uh,
Okay, it'll
yeah.
get you promotions. You're proactive, and so that being said, if you need help with your business,
Mm-hmm.
Rob McCray Business Building Network is the man to connect with. Last week, you did an
Oh,
awesome,
yes. Thank you so much, Christine. I forgot to
awesome
mention.
job with the presentation. Oh yeah. If you want to go viral, you being intentional on your marketing, your digital footprint, connect
Mm-hmm.
with Bob and be proactive about it. All right.
All right. Thank you so much, sis. And yes, if you are looking for someone to create a business plan for you, if you're ready to start that business venture for yourself, then Christine Allen from Clear Ambitions is definitely the one that you need to speak with in creating that business plan for yourself. And if you're also looking for a coach and to do a public speaking, she is the one for you. So, yeah, we have a great combination, a great team that we have here on what's holding you back. And if there is anything that we can do to help you in your situation, whether that be creating a business or structuring the business, please, by all means, reach out to us. We would be more than help. We would be more than happy to help you in any way in which we can. And like Christine was saying earlier, last
Mhm.
week we did a training on how to get more video views and more subscribers to those of you that have a YouTube channel. And
Yeah.
as we talk about being proactive in creating other income streams,
Hmm.
YouTube is another way to create a stream of income for yourself. So that is a great tool to put in your toolbox and something that you really need to think about. So if you missed the broadcast last week, please go back to Christine's YouTube channel, which is Clear Ambitions, or my YouTube channel, which is Rob McCray Networking. And if you have not already subscribed to both of our channels, please go ahead and do so. We would greatly appreciate that. So, Christine, you have any final words before we close out?
None at all. We've said a lot. We've said a lot, and I think there's a lot of good nuggets and takeaways as I can see the comments in the chat. Thank
Yes.
you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great rest of the week and the weekend ahead. We
Yeah.
want to hear about what's proactive on your plate. We'll give you some homework. It's been a while since you got some homework from what's holding you back.
That's true.
So you have to make a list of 10 things, 10
Okay.
things that you need to be proactive on from
Love
the
it.
top to the bottom. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. Let's be accountability partners.
Yes.
All right.
Peace.
Okay. All right.
So, yes, on behalf of Chritine Allen from Clear Ambitions, my name is Rob McCray from the Business Building Network. Once again, we thank you all for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here for another edition of What's Holding You Back.
What's holding
We'll see
you
you
back?
next.
Holding you back from touching the sky. Oh, holding you back. You finally gotta reach for the sky. I was born to succeed, not to be a spoke in the wheel. Told myself there's more to this than just waking up when I feel. So I made a commitment to turn my earnings up. Couldn't see myself as an employee that still couldn't. Looked in the mirror, saw a spark in my eye. Knew I had to hustle and stop living a lie. I packed my dreams in a suitcase, took the first train out, headed for the horizon with success is no doubt.